Alright, y'all. Oh, it's getting late. I've been doing a lot of this stuff around the house, but I came out and I had assumed I didn't have any leaks earlier when I ran this unit. It turns out I did. The plates, these Lexan plates that I had told you about, I put in there, they were a bit wide, so I cut another 1/8 of an inch off. Just to let you know, if I can find the piece here, let's see, there it is. I got a bookmark. Alright, this thing was just the piece I use when I'm putting this unit together. It's the one I use to measure the lengths of all the other ones. It's how long I make them, because I cut this one perfect in length. And so it's the one I use, but it was much more narrow. Okay, I added a carpenter's pencil width to this, okay? So when I got done with these, trying to stop the leak that I found about 4 or 5 hours after I posted the video, I ended up cutting it, to my surprise, well, you can see, almost exactly that wide. I ended up taking another 1/8 of an inch off these guys right here. Alright, now I didn't tell you earlier that what I used for these gasket material in here, this little gray gasket material, I can see that too well, sorry about that. It's shower bedpan liner, and for those of you who do not know what that is, I have a remodeling business, so I get this stuff a lot. If I can get this off here without pulling this birdhouse down. Okay. This is bedpan liner for a shower. When you build a stone walk-in shower, you get this at Lowe's, and you get it in a big roll. It's pretty affordable, seeming how if you're going to build one of these cells, you'll have an immense amount left over. If you're going to sell these little HHO cells, it'll pay for itself pretty quick. I didn't tell you what thickness of titanium I used, but I did remember I had something that was the exact same thickness of the titanium that I used. Alright. So it's rather thin. Maybe almost a 1/16 of an inch thick. That's what I use for the buses. That's the material. That's a backsplash, is what that is. I did a house in New Mexico, in Albuquerque, quite a few of them actually, but that's the backsplash from a fancy kitchen I built. I believe there are 34 plates in there, but look at my notes here. Sorry, little wire to the phone. Its battery's dead, so I'm charging it. 34 plates. I did 34 plates, and well, I drilled, when I did these plates, there's a hole here. It's a 1/2 inch hole. The 1/2 inch hole did on my drill press right there. Okay, it's a 1/2 inch hole here. There's a 1/2 inch hole here. I think there's 1/4 inch holes. There's 4 of them. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, and every plate. And those top ones are just to allow gas that gets trapped up back in here to get out. My friend Man of Diversity, he's on YouTube. He's the one that recommended that. So I did it, and it worked very good. He was having a problem with his, so he told me I might want to do that on mine. So he's modified his cell, I think. I don't know. He's been doing a bunch of other stuff too, some Bedini motors and stuff like that. All right. So their buses. I told you about the gaskets. I told you about the thickness of the plate, the metal I used. I told you it's titanium CP. Gunrat's Commercial Pure. This is just basic all thread. I think it's 5/16 all thread, I think. Use nylock nuts. Please, for your own sake, use nylock nuts. Don't do what I did and use normal ones, because it will just come loose on you. It's like select sand. It heats up. It flexes. It'll just wiggle itself loose. And I did that because I know that because I threw it in the back of my van just for a test before I had all this crap on here. And it just worked itself loose everywhere. And I wanted to see what it do just being thrown around. Thrown in the back of my work van. So, oh God, I'm tired. The electrolyte turned it into, looks like urine, but I can't, obviously I don't have any horses and I can't pee that much. So it's just distilled water with, I didn't tell you how much of it I use either. I get a brand new gallon of distilled water. See that stuff right there I showed you earlier? You know, everybody in the world knows what this is, off of laundry detergent. I guess maybe a half cup. I just leveled off across the top. And I put this, you know, I squeeze it like that, and I put it into a brand new gallon of distilled water. And that's my concentration for my electrolyte. Okay, I like it because it's non-corrosive. You can get more gas production out of some other stuff that's caustic, but you'll be rebuilding this thing quickly unless you use 316L stainless steel. But I must warn you about hexavalent chromium. It will be produced, I believe, if you use a caustic material. That's why I don't use it. It's highly cancerous. It's a carcinogen. You get it from welding. It's in industrial paints, and it's also from any high chromium content metal that undergoes heat or exposure to acids. So anyway, I don't use that crap. I did hook up DC. I designed this unit, guys, to run off a pulse width modulation unit. That's the whole goal here. I haven't bought one. I haven't put it together. I'm going to the college here tomorrow, see if they'll allow me to put it to an oscilloscope in the physics department. And they probably will, because they're pretty nice. And I got some friends there. And they may just tell me to walk away. I don't know. We'll figure it out. So that's all the little updates I got for you. Build your... You don't have to put 34 plates. You can use 10, 12, whatever. It is a positive, neutral, neutral, negative, neutral, neutral, positive, neutral, neutral, negative. You get the idea? Positive, negative, with two neutrals in between. And that's it. And I use 2 gaskets thick between each cell. I mean each plate. So it's 2 gaskets a plate, 2 gaskets a plate. So that's what I did. And it makes a really good diameter. When you put up the pulse width modulation unit, or they call PWMs, it will behave differently for you. You'll only be able to get a certain frequency before you override the productive capacities of the cell, okay? And that has to do with your spacing, all right, and the thickness of your metal, and the type that you use for the resistance that's going to create, and the conductivity it's going to create, all that crap that you'll have to read about to get good at. The other people who have studied a lot more than me, they know a lot. Look all over YouTube. Everybody builds these things. All right, and there's a lot of great people have like great information. This is just a little prototype. This is my very first one I've ever built. It's the second HHO cell I've ever built. The first one was just TIG welding wire I wrapped around a piece of PVC, and I did 2 of them, anode, cathode. But anyway, I decided to take a different direction this time. So it worked great. I ran it for a few hours, no leaks at all of any kind. It's dry down there. It compressed a lot more. So there's the last details I forgot to put in there. Hope 9 minutes wasn't too long to blabber mouth you to death. Y'all have a good night. I'll post more stuff later on whenever I get around to it. Bye.